All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. 119-101 final score. Lakers over the Spurs. I'm catching it late here, but I'm going to see if we can get just a little bit of Dalton Connect with Mike Trudell. Take a
Came out
listen.
with a lot of energy, so those helped us to get the win today.
I know you pride yourself on being a three-level scorer. We saw the threes, we saw floater, we saw a couple of when they attacked you came to close out. You attacked the closeout, got to the rim and finished. I know that's part of the game, but how do you approach it offensively like that?
That's just I'm not just a straight shooter. I'm a three-level scorer. I think I showed that in college. So just keep going out there and shooting mid-range, shooting floaters, getting to the rim, dunking, laying it up, and then not only just that, but playing out of pick and roll and hit my bigs for easy layup.
All right, last one for you. You travel home, take on OKC on Friday in the last NBA Cup game in the group stage for you guys. How important was it to get this win, and what's the key going into that one?
It was big to get us that momentum to go back home and play our last Cup game and go from there.
Appreciate it, Dalton.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, we'll stop it right there. Appreciate you guys hanging out. So Lakers over the San Antonio Spurs, 119-101, the final score. So Lakers finally get a win, to be honest with you. I think we're all kind of looking at this team and we're trying to figure out, all right, they a good team? Are they a bad team? What the hell are they? Get off to a really good start, have two really bad games, just two blowouts. We all know what happened these last couple of games. So nice bounce back victory for the Lakers. So 119-101, the final score. Actually, a lot of positive things to talk about. I got to be honest with everybody. For doing these last three post-game shows, there really hasn't been that much to talk about. There really hasn't been anything that positive to talk about. I thought tonight we got a lot of good stuff to get into. So some good positive momentum going into that game that they're going to have against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's going to come up on Friday. So everyone can kind of kick back tomorrow. They could properly enjoy their Thanksgiving dinner. They could hang out. They could relax. They could feel good about the win and what they're doing. And we could take it from there. So this is probably the thing I want to talk about most. I just want to talk a little bit about the Lakers, kind of their balanced attack, how they played this game, how there were multiple guys that contributed. On top of that, too, the starting lineup. If you guys listen to my show this morning, I spent some time this morning talking about how got to get Dalton Connect back in that starting lineup. I don't see a reason why that man should not be in the starting lineup. I feel like it helps that entire starting unit. He's such a threat. So we'll spend a little time on Dalton as well. But this was one of those games where, gotta be honest, kind of coming into the game, I thought because it's a second of a back-to-back, San Antonio had won 4 games in a row, really didn't have that much confidence that the Lakers, I didn't really know what to expect. If they lost another game, it wouldn't be a shock or a surprise. It would just be like, all right, well, I guess maybe we got a little too excited about a team, early on. But the reality is they controlled the entire game. I think at one point to start the game, they were down 9-2. After that, it was all Lakers. And I never really felt there was a time that you thought the game was in jeopardy. I know Harrison Barnes hit a 3, I want to say in the third quarter, that brought it down to 4. But for the most part, Lakers were in control of this game, exactly what they needed to do. A lot of people were paying attention, saying, what's that third quarter going to look like? The last 2 third quarters for the Lakers, they're outscored by 40 total. The Denver game and the Phoenix game. So, okay, they had a lead going into halftime. By the time the first quarter was up, by the time they got to halftime, I want to say they were up 11, something like that, 9 or 11, something along those lines. They were up 9. I know up 9 at the end of the first quarter. But by the time they got to halftime, it's what's this team going to look like in the third quarter? Can they pull it out? And then, as the game progressed, you got into the fourth quarter, you felt like, all right, this is going to be a W for the Lakers. This could certainly, from a record perspective, all right, you stopped that 3-game losing streak. You're 11-7 now. You got a tough game coming up against the Oklahoma City Thunder, but you feel like you put the train right back on the tracks. You feel like, all right, take a second here. As bad as those 3 games were, this is they were desperate for this. I mean, if I know dramatic this early in the season, we shouldn't be dramatic talking Lakers basketball this early, but I genuinely thought they were desperate to make sure that they walked away with a W tonight. Let's get into the actual players, because I do think there's a few guys that I want to highlight here. Let me just start with this, because I don't do this very often, and I haven't had too many times to talk about him. I'm going to give D'Angelo Russell some credit tonight, and I think he deserves it tonight. He was very, very – it was interesting. You know, one of the things I think is frustrating with me, D'Lo, he just fires away from the three-point line. Never looks like he's in a rhythm. And then he ends up shooting 2 of 9 or 3 of 11 from the field. And he took 8 threes and hit 2 of them or whatever the numbers are, right? I thought today he did something, or tonight he did something a little bit different. He was aggressive getting to the basket. He was doing it in the first half. I think he had 15 in the first half, ended up with 17 in the game. Maybe he had a little bit less in the first half, but I thought what he was able to do off the bench, and I thought what Max Christie was able to do off the bench for the Lakers, both of those dudes, you got one guy that was plus 19, another guy that was plus 16. So we don't do it. We don't get that opportunity to do it very often where we're highlighting something from the Lakers bench. We're highlighting 2 individual players that have got a lot of heat so far this year. Give D'Lo and give Max Christie their credit, give them their due. It doesn't mean that they're not, if they don't perform in an upcoming game, that we won't be critical again. But it means because they had a good game, because both of those guys, I'll go down each one of those guys. Stats here because I think that tells a little bit of the story. So D'Lo goes 7 of 11 from the field. One of the things that's been super frustrating with D'Lo is just his inefficiency, right? It's one thing to be able to hit bucket, or it's one thing to take shots. It's one thing to get 10, 12, 15, 18 points. Are you efficient while you're doing it? And D'Lo has kind of failed in every category so far this season. 3-point percentage below 30%. We know that. He struggled from the field as well. Zero consistency. He played 26 minutes tonight, 7 of 11 from the field, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, and 17 points for the Lakers, plus 19 in the plus minus. Max Christie, 22 points, had 4 rebounds. Oh, by the way, D'Lo had 5 assists as well. Max Christie, 4 rebounds, couple of assists, a block shot, 12 points, plus 16 in the plus minus. It's got to feel good for him. 4 of 6 from the field. Took a corner 3 that went in and out. That could have got his scoring up to 15, something along those lines. But I thought they were productive minutes. So that bench for the Lakers was important. It was key. It's got to be something that it has to be something where you kind of put yourself in a position where you can rely a little bit more on your bench. The Lakers obviously have not been able to do that for a while. So at least for tonight, let's give them that credit. All right, let me look at a couple more things here. I mentioned this to you guys a little bit earlier, and I was doing my show this morning, and I had one specific clip that I was talking about JJ Redick, and one of the things that I kept saying, I'm like, you got to throw Dalton Knecht back in the starting lineup. Like, I don't get it. I don't really understand, what this dude, not that he's done something wrong, but don't overthink it. Don't, and I'm going to give JJ Redick credit in this. He's not stubborn. JJ Redick doesn't just, you know what? I don't care. This is the decision that I made, and this is what I'm going to do. That's not really JJ Redick. That's not really in his DNA. We've already seen that, JJ. Or you had D'Lo that was starting. You had D'Lo coming off the bench. You had Cam coming off the bench. Now you have him starting. He's mixed around and done some different things. He's tried different things to see what works best. He put Dalton Knecht back in the starting lineup. Dalton Knecht, we went through a stretch. If I told everybody, tell me the biggest highlight of the Lakers' year so far, everybody's going to say, oh, well, it's Dalton Knecht. He's been the biggest story so far for the Lakers. For God's sakes, he had a game where he dropped 37 and hit 9 threes, and he made it look so easy, so smooth, and everything else. They lose the game to the Orlando Magic. I'm not telling you they would have beat Denver. I'm not telling you they would have beat the Phoenix Suns, but Dalton Knecht didn't start in both of those games, and he was a non-factor in both of those games. The reason why he has to be in the starting lineup, there's a number of reasons why, but I'm going to explain a couple of them. And obviously he was back in the starting lineup tonight, and he delivered again. The reason why he's got to be in that starting rotation is because I think he's going to make LeBron James, he's going to make his life a hell of a lot easier. I think he's going to give better spacing for Anthony Davis. I think it allows Austin Reeves to be a player that doesn't have to hold the burden of saying, I'm the third best scorer on this team, or I'm the third option on this team. I think that could be Dalton Knecht one night. That could be Austin Reeves another night. Maybe it could be D'Angelo Russell. But Knecht has got to be in there for all the reasons that I just mentioned. And what did JJ do? JJ didn't take Rui Hachimura out, which I think he wants him there for his size, his length. And I keep hearing them say, you can't take a guy out was in the starting lineup because of an injury. I think right now Lakers are just trying to win. So I don't know how, critical or important that part is. But Knecht plays better with that group. He plays better with LeBron and Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves. And those guys, I think, play better when he's in the lineup. So I don't want to see Knecht come off the bench again the rest of the year. And if you look at his numbers, he's continuing to justify that he needs to be in the starting lineup. Look at Knecht tonight. Play 31 minutes, shot over 50% from the field, 8 of 15, hit 4 threes for the Lakers. By the way, here's some stats that kind of come out of nowhere. 8 rebounds for Dalton Knecht, 20 points for Dalton Knecht. He had the highest, AD had the highest plus minus, at least in the starting lineup. You can no longer justify not having Dalton Knecht in the starting lineup, period. There's no way to justify it. Let's take a quick listen. Here's JJ Redick talking about the game.
You had 39 here the last time we played. They were sending bodies to him. We tried to get the ball early in his spots to score, and he was picking them apart. He was just a facilitator. And look, I've only coached him 18 games now, and the 19 points or whatever he ended up with, it's not going to jump off the page, but he was a monster tonight, and he does that every night. He does everything that it takes to win every single night.
What was the thinking behind Dalton's kind of putting him back in the starting lineup at this different time? We're more at the 2, and where did you
feel
like that helped you tonight?
Did you hear my show this morning?
I think sometimes you just gotta look at numbers, and we are in constant communication with our analytics group, and obviously Max is with us during games and on the road, but we recognize that you probably need about 250 minutes to really gain stuff and look at something in terms of lineup data, and we're not there yet with some of these lineups, but we felt like the DK stuff was great, and tonight was trying to figure out a way to get a win, knowing that we were going to be Reading 1 through 5 as the game plan. It just felt like a game that we could get him in there.
JJ2, for you, one, how did you feel like, I think when we were last time, Max had that switch onto Wemby, and it was
Mute it for a quick second. I hope what JJ Redick's not saying is this is kind of, we did it for today. I hope what he's saying is, yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's a starter on this team, and we move on from there. Didn't really sound like that. I wish he just simplified it and said he's supposed to be a starter.
1 through 5 read the whole game. So that was going to require a lot of physicality and a lot of communication. And I thought our guys executed that to a great level. Beyond that, sometimes when you can get a little spread out and they start ghosting screens, you can get broken down off the dribble. Certainly happened a few times. Certainly we messed up a couple ghost screens and the roller got behind or the slip got behind. But overall, I thought we did a really good job of just containing the basketball and not getting spread out.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. One of the things, and I'll get into the individual players and we'll keep going here. I'm going to hit on real quick what I said. The one thing that has to happen, the one thing that truly, truly has to happen, and this is, you could look at this more from a defensive purpose. You could look at this more from if the Lakers are going to have true success. They also got stops tonight. And I think a lot of times we do it. I fall victim to this as well. We start looking at, all right, Lakers won. How many points did Knecht have? What did LeBron do tonight? Was Max Christie contributing? Is D'Lo struggling from the field, or was he hitting a shot? Is Rui living up to his contract? We do all that stuff. They played D tonight. Lakers, got stops tonight. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to look real quick because I think it would be interesting. Spurs were on a 4-game winning streak before this game, and I kept looking at some of their scores. Yeah, let me tell you the scores they put up in that 4-game winning streak. They put up 110 on OKC, 126 on the Jazz, only 104 on the Warriors, but they won that game as well. And then they put up 128 on the Jazz again. They're putting up points. Lakers held them to 101. So that says a lot of it. I think we were talking about this after the Lakers lost to Phoenix yesterday. Why do I feel like, man, it's crazy how many games they've already played this year. But when they lost to Phoenix, I think one of the things we were talking about, I was mentioning, there's really no need to have any conversation about this Lakers team other than the fact if they're not getting stops and they can't play defense, this season's going to go by so quick, and they're not going to have any success. So it was also good to see them get some stops. It was good to see them finally have a game where they can depend on their defense. And oh, by the way, their offense was good. What I hated in those other games, I hated listening to these interviews, and you got these guys saying, well, we were missing our shots, so that was discouraging us on defense. I'm like, if the only way you're going to win a game is by hitting your jumpers, you're going to lose a lot of games. They shot over 52% from the field today. They hit 13 threes, 38%, 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Lakers were great offensively. But the trait I don't like about the Lakers is when their shots not falling, they all of a sudden kind of are a team that, they're looking around, they get discouraged. Maybe they're not hustling as much. Maybe they're not as motivated. That's not a good trait. You're not going to get very far if that's the trait that you have. So got to get stops, and then let the stops help you on the offensive side. Not your offense is helping your defense. You don't want to have that backwards there. The other piece that we talked about, we were talking about Dalton Knecht, and I'll go back to it here for a quick second. The last thing I'm going to say about Knecht was when JJ Redick mentioned about, he basically was talking about schematically, analytics. That's why they put him back in. I don't need to see a different starting lineup every couple of days. I think the four that should be in the starting lineup is LeBron, Anthony Davis, is Austin Reeves, and is Dalton Knecht. And if that fifth spot's Rui, or if eventually Jared Vanderbilt comes back and you decide you're going with Vando, whatever it is, I don't think those four, there's a need to have any question mark about who should be starting. And Knecht's delivering. I'm going to look at Dalton Knecht. Let's just look at his last 5 games of his PT, okay? The game against the Utah Jazz, 37 points. The game against the Orlando Magic, 17 points, and didn't force anything. Shot 50% from the field, shot 75% from the field against Utah. The game against Denver, only 9 points, and didn't play crazy minutes. The game against Phoenix, played under 20 minutes, played 19 minutes, only had 7 points, and then tonight gets back into the starting lineup, plays 31 minutes, 53% from the field, and it's not just give me the minutes, it's he's producing in the minutes, 20 points and 8 rebounds. A couple of the Lakers, and I know I didn't even mention them as if they don't even exist. I mentioned D'Angelo Russell. I mentioned Max Christie. I mentioned Dalton Knecht. Bron's game was interesting. I thought Bron was I should get into some of the other role players because it's one of the few times that you got the entire starting lineup that scores in double figures. I'll do that in just a second. Let me do Bron. Bron, I thought, was forcing shots, did not think was taking good shots, at least through the first half or so, and then all of a sudden got into a little bit of a groove, but he still ends up with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists, another triple-double for LeBron. His turnovers are super high. That part is not good. I heard him saying it in the last game. I think Dave McMenamin was asking about the turnovers. He said something to the effect, I'm just trying to make winning plays. If it happens, it happens. He needs to be a little bit more, he's got to be smarter sometimes with the ball. But I think basically what LeBron was saying, at the end of the day, here's what I'm trying to accomplish. And turnovers are going to come because of that. Not good for Bron. I thought his game was okay today. And in a game that's okay, he still ends up with a triple-double. Still ends up with the 10 rebounds. Still ends up with the 11 assists. Rui, 16 tonight, 5 rebounds. I thought hit a couple of big shots for the Lakers. Every time it felt like Lakers it was coming down the end of the shot clock, or San Antonio was making a run. Bron, I know, had a pass at him, and I think the Lakers were only up maybe 6 at that point, and then Rui hits a 3 and gets it back up to 9. I thought Rui had a nice game today. 26 minutes, looks comfortable, took the right shots, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from the 3-point. Kind of, to be honest with you, almost a perfect game for Rui if I just looked at his box line. If I just looked at the box score. Took under 10 shots, hit a couple of threes, got you 5 rebounds, give me another 1 or 2, get 6 or 7, and then ended up with 16 points. That's pretty much all you're asking for from Rui Hachimura. You get any more than that, it's just icing on the cake. If he can be in that range, 14 to 16, somewhere around there, be consistent, not have to take so many shots, not just be predicated on the 3-point line. That's a nice box score for Rui. Last person I'm going to mention here, then I'm going to get into some of your guys' comments. We'll take a look at everybody, what they're saying out there. 19 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists for Anthony Davis. 8 of 14 from the field. Not a crazy night, but AD just kind of doing his job. Wembanyama on the other side, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. But he didn't look smooth tonight at all. Took a lot of threes, high volume threes. I think he took 9 threes, only hit 2 of them. So the game that the San Antonio Spurs had against the Lakers in that first matchup, it looked a lot different tonight. It was not the same San Antonio Spurs team that we were watching from 2 weeks ago or whenever that was. All right, let's see what else we got here. Still not winning a title this year. Come on. It's the first one I'm reading. Give me something here. All right, Big Slee. Slee, explain why you're in the wrong arena. No, here's what happened. So here's the thing about the whole arena thing. So my key card only works at crypto. So I went to San Antonio. I tried to get in. They didn't let me in. So then I flew back, got down to LA just in time, and I flashed my key card and I got in. So that's basically what happened. Thank you for asking. After losing 2 previous games, yeah, I'm glad a win always takes the stink out of losing. I just want the dust to settle for the Lakers, and we just have a better idea of what this team is, what the squad is. I think one of the best barometers you can get in the NBA is those first 20 games. So they're 11-7 right now. Even if they split these last 2 and they're 12-8, let's say they lost to the Thunder, they beat the Utah Jazz, Oklahoma's going to be a problem, guys. I just saw they're playing at Golden State, I want to say. Is that where they're playing? And they are up 60-48 at the half. Or maybe 30, 35 seconds left before the half. OKC is going to be a problem. Anyways, what I was going to say, if you split these last 2 and you're 12-8, all right, not the best record when you start out 10-4, but let's see what they can build off of. If you find a way to beat the Thunder on Friday night at crypto, and then you beat the Utah Jazz and you're 13-7 to start out the season, then I think you could be very, very proud of those first 20 games. So, we'll kind of see what happens there. All right, let's take a look at some more of your comments here. AR. He needs to start. Okay. Oh, DK, I thought it said, okay. AR, you've been very generous. Always coming through with some supers. Thank you for doing that, brother. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. He's got to start. This isn't a conversation. This isn't a topic. This isn't one of those things where, it's actually one of the easier decisions, I think, for the Lakers right now. Hey, what do you do with your rookie Dalton Knecht? You play him 30 minutes a game and you make sure he's starting. You play him 30 minutes a game and you make sure he's starting. You guys saw the stats I was reading you about what he's doing on a night in, night out basis, what he's done over these last 5 games. I love, too, that he's getting you around 5-6 rebounds a game as well, average over these last 5 games. When he's been in the starting lineup, he's given you 37, a 17, and a 20 in these last 5 games. Keep him in the starting lineup. Nobody has to overthink this one. That one, to me, is an easy one. Let's see what we got here. AR won't pass to DK. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think Austin Reeves has no problem dishing the rock. I really don't, unless you guys kind of all agree with that. I don't see Austin Reeves as a selfish player. I think those two are good together. Not great together because it's not like they're a defensive backcourt, but you got a couple defensive bodies that are in there with them. I don't have a problem with those two playing together. You guys remember a week ago or so, I was I had done a video. I had recorded a video. Who'd they play? I can't remember who they played. I know Knecht went off, and I had played a video, and a lot of those passes were Austin Reeves finding Dalton Knecht. So I don't think those two have an issue. I'm a fan when those two are in there together. Braun is averaging 5-6 turnovers a game. You're not lying. That literally it's the numbers are something like that. If it's not that exact stat, maybe it's around the high threes or low fours, something like that a game. He's got to clean that portion up. I know. I mean, listen, there are times you could tell that this guy, he looks 39, 40 years old. And some of his decision making, you could tell some of those young players are jumping the gun, or they're trying to be aggressive on him, or they're trying to strip him when he's getting to the basket, or he's jumping and he doesn't have a passing lane, doesn't really know where to go to. But I agree that portion of Braun definitely has to be better. Let's take a quick listen. Here's Anthony Davis.
Just brought up on his own your passing tonight. I think you had 40 here last time. He said the Spurs played you a lot differently, and you picked them apart with your passing. Just wondered what you saw and then what you were trying to get to.
Yeah, I mean, they were doubling off the passer. As soon as I caught it, they were two in my lap. So making the right reads, getting off the basketball, and hitting the guys that's open. But credit to these guys for making shots. So yeah, they played me a lot different. They didn't play one-on-one like they did the other time we were here. And I just tried to make the right reads.
Then getting back to some of those role players and Max, D'Lo, and even Dalton kind of stepping into the starting lineup. What did you see from some of the support crew tonight?
Played their ass off. And Dalton, big shot. We do what we do. Max, Chrissy was unbelievable. With his defensive presence and making plays on the offensive end. D'Lo, making shots, making the right reads, passing the ball. So I think everybody, played well tonight. We played team basketball, and it showed.
Clearly there's frustration from you guys after losing 3 straight, and it's kind of the way that you did. How significant was it to find a way to win a game against a team that had won 4 straight as you fly back home?
That was good. Get back in the win column. Obviously, it's it's frustrating and it's tough, when you lose basketball games, but it's how you respond. And the good thing about the NBA, you always got one, either the next day or next couple of days, to kind of redeem yourself. So I think we had a solid 48 minutes. Obviously, they made a run, which every team will because it's the NBA. But we responded with a run of our own and was able to get some separation and lock down the lead.
You just kind of mentioned it's a drilling on that.
I see. We get one more in here. We'll get out of
it. You
it.
guys had a good half against Phoenix, good half against Denver, and when the push came from the other team, it kind of things sort of fell apart. As you guys were playing well, how much was consistency? Keep it going. Was that the vibe on the bench? And you guys, how significant is it?
So we're just trying to get good looks, run our offense, and live with the results, and put guys in actions that we thought that we had an advantage with. We were able to get some lobs, some pocket passes, some open threes, but we just stayed with it. I think we focused more so on the defensive end coming out and trying to get stops. They called the first time out, so that was a good sign for us. And now it's just about going out and executing, for the rest of the time. So, for us, we just wanted to come out with a defensive mindset, get stops, and then on the other end, execute our offense and score the basketball.
All right, that sounds much more reasonable. Anthony Davis talking about how they just want to get stops and then they'll figure out trying to get good looks. I felt like these last couple of games, they were just, Denver's not missing any shots, nothing we could do. Phoenix, it's KD's a really good player. It's like, all right, so there's not going to be any solutions here. Obviously them winning, and I think it's so key. They don't have a game tomorrow. They're flying back actually tonight. So think about kind of their schedule, what they've had. They'll fly back tonight. They'll get to kind of chill tomorrow, not have to worry about, playing on Thanksgiving or anything like that. They'll kick back. They got a little bit of momentum, a W. Then you got the Oklahoma City Thunder waiting for you on Friday. Jason on here. Jay, happy for your streams. Got it going. Thank you, my brother. Jay, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody that's been hanging out, whether in the mornings or at night. The original plan, I was like, if I do the morning, I don't think I got to do post game. Everybody's like, we're going to go ahead and need you for the post game show as well. It's all right. I enjoy doing this, so we'll keep it going. Slee shooting jumpers right after this. I take 180 jumpers. I go to the outdoor hoops. I'm hoping there's a little bit of wind, a double rim with no net, and I take 180 jumpers. And I got to hit. No, I have to hit 180 jumpers. That's the rule. Double rim, no net. Does that not sound like the worst outdoor basketball that you can possibly take? This was Max's best game of the year. Listen, I don't know. I don't. I'll just be honest with everybody. I think everyone will feel the same way. I don't know what Max Christie is night in and night out. Tonight is not the norm for Max. For him to drop 12 points, 4 rebounds, be involved defensively, be very aggressive. It's actually one of the first things, and I like Stu saying it. Stu Lance said it right after the game. He said something to the effect of, he wanted to give Max Christie credit. So he didn't mention D'Lo. He didn't mention Dalton Knecht. He didn't mention Rui. LeBron's triple-double. Anthony Davis doing what he did. I think he purposely went out of his way to give credit to Max Christie. The dude just needs to gain his own confidence, because I wouldn't be surprised if the game on Friday against the Oklahoma City Thunder, that confidence is gone again. And some of those young guns from the Oklahoma City Thunder are checking him early in the game, and then he kind of loses his confidence the rest of the way. I don't know if JJ Redick, how much confidence he's going to have in him on a night in, night out basis, but it was one of his more productive games, and they don't happen often. So I can't even actually kind of think what game kind of stood out that I could think of from Max Christie. So I'm with you on that one. Slee light one up for us. Is Jalen guy. Jalen wants me in there. Gabe Vincent is worthless. What do you have? By the way, I didn't even mention his name. You know, I could sit here and say, let me show you how deceiving stats can be, okay? Because Gabe Vincent, let's see, he played 6 minutes, 0 points. No, that one's not deceiving. That's what he did. But if I looked at Cam Reddish and I said, well, Cam Reddish didn't score either. This is how deceiving stats can be sometimes. If you just look at how many points did Cam Reddish have, how many points did Gabe Vincent have? They both had 0. Do you know how wildly different their production has been for the Lakers this year? And then the other one's on a minimum contract. The other guy got signed to a 3-year deal worth $33 million. Yeah, I got to be. I'm shocked. Gabe Vincent has been. Last year he had so many injuries that it just went to that. It's like, yeah, but he was injured all year, so that's why he wasn't able to produce. He's following up last year with a worse year. He's got minutes. He's got opportunities. He's not effective at all. Especially him. I'm sure part of the allure that the Lakers had when they signed Gabe was, hey, this guy came from Miami. He's with that system, Pat Riley, Heat culture, all that stuff. They got to the NBA Finals. He was productive. He was a big piece to get to the NBA Finals. They beat the Celtics that series in 7 games. He's done nothing for the Lakers. Nothing. I've spent time before talking about some of the contracts that are not delivering for the Lakers. That probably should be the one that that should be one of the ones that I lead with anytime I talk contracts. Knecht is smoother and works really well with the starting unit. James Worthy even said that after the game tonight. No question about it. No question about it. That to me is, it's not just, well, Dalton Knecht, well, just put him off the bench and give him starter minutes. No, Knecht needs to be in there with a facilitator like LeBron. Knecht needs to be in there to give space to Anthony Davis, because a guy can't help. There are a couple possessions early on. Knecht hit a couple threes to start the game. There are a couple of possessions where I'm like, what are the Spurs doing? Why are you helping off Dalton Knecht? The point is that you can't help off of him, and that he is a threat. So then LeBron can get a look that he's looking for. Or Austin Reeves now gets true one-on-one play because it can't help off of him. He changes the dynamic, and he's a really, really good basketball player. His numbers are proving it. Love the 8 rebounds. I said it earlier. Love the rebounding. Love the rebounding. All right, what's this other one I saw here? Somebody was saying here that what was somebody saying here? Somebody had said something to the effect of, if Darvin Ham was coaching or something like that, he would have sat Dalton Knecht over the last couple of games. Here it is. Why did Ham bench DK the last couple of games? Listen, whatever the strategy was, whatever they were trying to figure out, I knew Rui threw kind of a curveball to the team and they were trying to adjust from that perspective. There's nothing to adjust to. Go back to Dalton Knecht in that starting lineup and don't mess around with that anymore. I don't know how much more is left of it.
Being a big part of it, what does that entail for you, and how did you guys execute that?
I mean, when any team's really 1 through 5 red, you're going to be in a lot of mismatches. Wemby's a tall guy. Collins is a big dude down there too. So, I was going to end up on some bigs and I was going to end up on some smaller guards. I think I'm capable of guarding almost all positions. I think my fronts in the post have been really good. And then I think I do a good job on the perimeter as well. So, for me, it was just kind of just staying locked in on the matchups and just kind of communicating with the guys, switching every single screen. So it worked out.
What was the key tonight's third quarter to not fall back into what happened the last 2 games?
I think honestly, as a team, we acknowledged it at halftime. We said, hey, we got to come out and really make them call the first time out in the third quarter. So we came out with a lot of force, came out with intensity. Yeah, I don't think we really slacked. So I thought we did a really good job. And I think when we do that as a team, then we're really hard to beat. We built a good lead in the first half and then kind of stood on that in the second half and grew the lead even too. So it was good.
Max polished. I remember one time early on, I think he was a rookie. I was doing Lakers talk. I think I interviewed him on one of my shows. And like a couple questions in, I'm like, Jesus, what is this guy? This guy's going to be a broadcaster when he's done in his playing career. All right. I'm going to look at just the upcoming schedule for the Lakers, couple scores around the NBA. And then we're all going to take a nice day off tomorrow. We're going to enjoy Thanksgiving. Lakers, of course, got a game coming up on Friday. No show tomorrow. I'm not going to do a show tomorrow or Friday, my morning show, but I will do a post-game show coming up on Friday. Okay, this is what the Lakers got scheduling-wise. I want to see actually their next few games. I don't know how far down the line I've been looking, but the big game coming up is Friday. Remember I said this? Remember I was talking about Lakers need some tests. What does it look like? What does it look like when they're playing against some of the elite in the Western Conference, some of the elite in the NBA? There were some injuries early on to other teams, so we didn't get to, fully see them with a couple stars that the Lakers got to avoid, if you want to call it. Well, then we got to see the stars. We got to see Nikola Jokic on Saturday. We know what happened. We got to see KD and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. All three of them played well yesterday. We know what happened. The next real test for the Lakers is coming on Friday. They got the Oklahoma City Thunder, best record in the Western Conference. OKC, I saw, was up 10 or 12 at halftime against the Golden State Warriors. They're on the road playing in Golden State. Thunder's 13-4. They're representing the West right now. If you ask anybody out there, I had Mark Medina on yesterday. We're talking some NBA. I said, give me your top 3 teams in the Western Conference. And both him and I were like, okay, Oklahoma. Let's get that one out of the way. Everyone agreed that Oklahoma City is the best of the best in the Western Conference. And then it was just trying to figure out who's number 2, who's number 3. Are you putting Dallas in front of Golden State? Are you putting Memphis in front of this? Are the Lakers in the top 3? The point I'm making is nobody questioned the best team in the Western Conference. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've been phenomenal. And that's a game at Crypto. That's a chance. Lakers started out the season. I can't remember what their record was. Maybe 6-0 to start out the season at home. Now they've lost their last 2 games at home. So this is a chance for them to obviously break that drought there. But Thunder will come in. They'll have, they won't have to play tomorrow as well. Lakers won't play. So both teams will be well rested. Yes, everybody going to have kind of chilled out for Thanksgiving. But they got a squad, man. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the best players in the league. Then you got all these other young, talented players. Jalen Williams is an absolute stud. Isaiah Joe is an absolute stud. They got guys coming off the bench. I'm looking at some of these guys. Aaron Wiggins is a nice player. Isaiah Hartenstein, they signed in the offseason to give them some size. Dort is a player that's been on that team for a while that's kind of become a vet, one of the leaders on that squad. Caruso, I think, is out. I don't know. I know Caruso's out in this game. I don't know if Caruso's going to be out on Friday. Let me see. Caruso rolled out Wednesday against what? We'll see. He's got a hip injury or something along those lines. Eventually, they're going to get back Chet Holmgren. They obviously don't have him right now. I know Jalen Williams, another player that they have, is kind of another promising young player. He's been out. So they're not even fully healthy. And this team has been the class of the Western Conference so far, and I think are going to be favored to come out of the West. So that's another great test for the Lakers. That game's on Friday. It's a 7 o'clock game on ESPN. Like I mentioned, the Lakers home game. And then they're going to go out on the road at Utah, at Minnesota, at Miami, at Atlanta. I know they have a stretch here. What is that? 4. They'll play 6 of 7 on the road. So they'll have a couple back-to-backs against Sacramento. So that's going to be the next test for the Lakers. You got this game. I think splitting these 2 games at Phoenix, at San Antonio, I don't think you can kind of bitch and complain about that. I said this about the 2 losses that the Lakers had when they lost to Denver and Phoenix. It wasn't just losing the game. It's how you lost. It's the fact that the second half started and those 2 coaches made adjustments and the Lakers looked confused as hell. It's, you went from a 10-point lead against Denver to down 29. At one point, you were down 30 against the Phoenix Suns. That's the problem that I had with those 2 losses. But I think tonight was a nice rebound game for the Lakers. And again, we're going to find out a little bit more of what this team is. Who are they? What kind of squad is it? How do they respond? What does it look like when, obviously, what does it look like when the dust settles? They got that coming up against OKC. So I want to see it again. Now I'm 0 for 2. Every time I'm like, well, I want to see, I want to see a tough matchup. I want to see how they react in a tough matchup. They've lost both of those games. So let's see. Let's hope Lakers don't make that 3 in a row. All right, let's see a couple more here, and then we're going to call it a day. Let's see what we got here. Slee, you got Spurs colors on. I got to be honest with you. No matter what I wear, somebody will probably say, Slee, you're representing that team. What were their jerseys today in the court? I've never seen that. Not a fan. The worst is when Gabe gets switched on a 6'10" player. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I'm on this tomorrow. Slee, don't forget to take some pictures of your Thanksgiving spread. What am I drinking tomorrow? Either I'm going to sip on beer or I'm just going to have bourbon. It's going to be one of the 2. I don't think there's an in-between. I don't know if I have an on-off. I haven't had, since I've been obviously doing this show and I'm doing the show Monday through Friday, I feel like I'm always needing to do something. I don't have to do shit tomorrow. So because I don't have to do anything tomorrow, I'm going to go make it happen. But I got to I will take some photos. There'll be some good spreads, some good Middle Eastern food. I'll have to educate you guys a little bit. Lakers Nation loves Caruso, man. Alex Caruso. I don't think there's anybody out there, even non-Laker fans. I think everybody just loves Alex Caruso. Away games, which Lakers are awful at. Telling you, Slee, a loss is a loss is a loss. I hope they don't play tired on Friday from the Turkey Day celebration. Okay, real quick, final thing I'm going to say here. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for being a part of the show during the week. I greatly appreciate that. Wishing you guys a phenomenal Thanksgiving tomorrow. Whatever it is that you got going on, whoever it is that you're going to be hanging out with, whatever your spread is, any of that stuff. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow with your fam, with your people. Thank you for hanging out here on a Wednesday night. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Wishing you guys a great Thanksgiving. Nice W for the Lakers. Get a win over the San Antonio Spurs, 119-101. They'll be back on Friday. I'll be back on Friday night. So definitely enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we'll get back with you guys on Friday evening. Thank you very much, everybody. Hope you guys have a good rest of your couple of days here, and then we'll get back on Friday.